Hello, everybody, and welcome back to 50 Shades of Tay. I am your host, Taylor Gonzalez, and today I am joined by he's an actor, he's a comedian, he's a musician, and he is Piglet in the upcoming Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey 2. Please welcome to 50 Shades of Tay, Eddy MacKenzie. Eddie, how are you doing today?
Hello, I'm doing very well. Thank you for having me. How
Oh,
are you
thank you
getting
so
on?
much. Today's been a fun day. I really appreciate you being here, and I cannot wait to talk to you about this upcoming film. I gotta ask, how do you remember hearing about Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey when it first came out, the original one? How do you remember hearing about it, and what was your relationship like with the first film?
Well, it was very much that sort of overnight cult phenomenon, wasn't it? I think the first I would have heard about it was some friends of mine went to see it when they did that run of releases in the cinema. So there was a sort of local, small, little independent cinema, did a midnight screening, and a bunch of my friends went and saw it, and they were all dressed up, and they came away and they were like, it was ridiculous. It was the greatest thing I've ever seen. Oh my God, Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey. And then you started hearing about it online and you saw all these clips from it and it just exploded. It was this incredible cult phenomenon. It was wonderful.
How did you find out that you got the role of Piglet?
Well, it was all a very weird one, really, because I didn't audition. I didn't really speak to any of the team until filming started. So until we actually met in person, I didn't really speak to any of them. What has happened is my hardworking, wonderful agent, bless her, the lovely Victoria Stephen, has found this casting call that they've put out online and submitted me for it. And then they've clearly looked at all the actors and have gone, ah, there we go, Eddy MacKenzie, he's our Piglet man. And the first I heard about it was she texted me saying, "I've emailed you about a role," which I thought normally means, oh, it's a self-tape or it's an audition type thing. I'll go and have a look. And I pulled it up, and the subject line was "Blood and Honey 2 offer," and I went, well, Blood and Honey, that, and that moment where time stops and then there was a very small email, and all it said was really, hello, such and such. If Eddie is still interested, we'd love to cast him as Piglet. And I didn't even know that I was interested. And then suddenly I was very interested. I can be interested. And
Oh,
it was so surreal. And I phoned her up and I was like, what? What is this? And she was like, oh, yeah, and I submitted you and then they want you to do it. And I'm like, this is because it was
oh,
such a big thing, the blood and honey. So it was crazy, insane. And
that
I
is
don't
so
really know.
cool.
I don't know what, I don't know why they thought it was me, but I'm not complaining. I'm not.
Oh, that must be so fun to get that email. How did your friends and your family react when they found out not only are you playing Piglet, but you're playing Piglet in a horror slasher film?
Oh yeah, it's the reaction has been sensational. I think my friends definitely understand it more than my mum, for instance. She was quite no, I think a bit confused to begin with because obviously, like so many people, I grew up with Winnie the Pooh. I had the films, I would watch it on the videotapes, I had the books, and so I always loved Winnie the Pooh, and that's the kind of image she had. And when I told her I was playing Piglet, she was very excited. And then I had to explain the version of Piglet that I was going to be playing, and she was sort of like, "Oh no, Piglet! Oh." But I think she understands
Mm.
now. She's kind of come to terms with it. She's probably never going to see the thing. It's not her type of film,
Mhm.
but she's very proud. She's very pleased.
Oh,
Um, my my friends are obsessed. They're
oh,
so
good.
like happy, and everyone is just like, "What?" The same way that I am. Everyone
Mhm.
is so just like, "This is crazy,"
Yeah.
and they're all so excited to see it. And it's just the reaction from everyone, like people online. The
Mhm.
reaction has been incredible. So I feel very
Oh,
blessed indeed. It's wonderful.
oh, that's great. So I was going to ask you, alluded to it a little bit with the last question. What was your relationship like growing up with Winnie the Pooh? You said you watched some of the films. Did you have a favorite character, a favorite movie? How was that for you?
Ooh, so yeah, I remember watching quite a few of the films I would have had on videotape to give away my age. The old VHS. I remember there was one movie that I definitely watched the most, and it was the one. I can't remember what it was called. Was it Grand Adventure or something
Oh
like
yeah,
that?
I think so.
And Christopher Robin's disappeared, and they have to
Hmm.
go and find him, and he's gone to Skull. It turns out it's school, and it's like,
Yeah, I remember that one.
he's been taken to Skull. Oh. And so they go on this grand adventure, and I it was definitely that one. And then there was the film that was based on the books, so it was like all little chapters from the stories, and it had the big rainy day and the heffalumps and woozles and all the classic Winnie the Pooh moments. And I loved it. I really loved Winnie the Pooh. Um, and weirdly, my favorite character was always Piglet.
Oh, that's
Um,
awesome.
because you might not be able to tell now, but growing up, I was a bit of a shy, nervous child. I was very quiet, and I was always quite nervous, and I've grown out of that now, but
Oh, that's
I
good.
definitely sort of um identified with Piglet as a kid. So weirdly, it's a kind of full circle thing now, and I'm kind of, you know, having a chance to portray a childhood idol,
Oh,
albeit in a slightly different
yeah,
version to
a
what I
little bit
remember.
different. Oh, that is so cool. Without giving anything away, was there a particular scene that you enjoyed filming? Did you have a favorite moment on set? Maybe something vague from the trailer or something without giving any spoilers.
Well, some of the favorite stuff would have been the kind of night shoots in the forest were very exciting because that was the kind of first stuff that we shot. And it was all you get into the prosthetics, and there's smoke machines, and there's all the gas and all the smells, and it's 4 a.m. and you're just like surrounded by people, and then it's action and it's war and it's suddenly, and you get so caught up in the kind of physicality of the thing that it was an incredible sensation. And there was a scene where there is in the trailer literally a frame of it where I'm doing a little bit of fighting with some guys, and that was fun. And I
Ooh.
got to do some stunts, and I got to do a little bit of like what would you call it? Yeah, but stunt work, I suppose, So that was cool.
Ooh.
Um, yeah, definitely a fond memory from filming. The kind of first real action was really cool to get into.
That's awesome. How long did this movie take in total to film?
Oh, I'm pretty sure it was just the month.
Oh, wow.
They sort of started pretty much. I think they started maybe just before September,
Okay.
and by the end of September it was wrapped. And because they made a joke where normally they only have a week to shoot these things, and they had a whole month this time, so they were spoiled rotten.
Oh, crazy, crazy.
But very tight, very quick. So I was doing a lot of night shoots, and you would turn up at sort of 5, 6 p.m. in the evening, and you'd work all the way through until daylight, basically,
Oh,
just getting every hour you could in the can. It was sensational.
oh my gosh. That sounds like a lot of fun. As I mentioned in your introduction, you're also a comedian. What was it like when you're normally used to being funny and you are such a friendly person just from the few minutes we've been talking, very personable. What is it like to portray someone scary and have to completely do like a 180 from your actual personality?
Yeah. Yeah, I've got I always say I've got whatever the opposite of resting bitch face is. I just can't. I'm always 2 seconds away from a smile. It's ridiculous, and I am a naturally quite jolly man, after I filmed the Piglet stuff, I went into November, December, I was Santa Claus over Christmas time, which will surprise nobody. So finding the opposite of that was tricky, I think. So that was really the hardest part of it was just grounding myself, removing the jolly, getting into that zone of angry little feral pig man and just not being happy about it and just it was a lot of it
Did
was a lot
you
of work.
did you focus on like any unhappy memories, like an ex or something that went wrong, or maybe like, I don't know, someone that cut you off in traffic?
Well, I've never been that kind of actor.
Mm,
I don't go into the whole recall kind of thing. A lot of people they do the emotional recall or they go full method, that kind of
mhm,
thing. I don't know. It was more of a sort of grounding exercises and just kind of uh, yeah, not quite. Well, basically, as I said, like once you get all the prosthetics on
mhm,
and you're stood there, you do kind of get into the zone of you feel a little bit crazy. And so all I had to do was remember to be like calm, still, and just center yourself.
mhm.
And it's kind of almost it's all yeah, it was a very meditative experience altogether, I would say, because you're sat there for about an hour and a half getting all the makeup on, and it just allows you to kind of, you know, zone yourself and
Mhm.
chill and do all that. And I think I just like I don't know. I still had fun with it, but I made sure that it was don't show any of the enjoyment. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's a side of me that a lot of people will not recognize. So hopefully it makes it all the more horrific.
Yeah. I think that'll be really fun to see something that is completely opposite from how you are in real life. How long did it take
Mm.
you to get into costume and to get all the prosthetics on?
Well. So what would normally happen is I would get the costume on myself, and this was sort of a few different pieces. It was sort of based on um, a kind of butcher idea. There was sort of a kind of rough work clothing, and then there was this big sort of apron type thing. So it was kind of a cross between like a butcher's apron and a very industrial vibe. Um, all the characters had a kind of style, like they were sort of based on um like the costumes were based on a certain idea. So Winnie the Pooh is obviously the kind of plaid lumberjack kind of thing. Tigger, I don't know if you've noticed in the trailer, he's got the kind of straight
Mhm.
jacket thing on. So it's that sort of thing. So yeah, Piglet, I think they gave him a kind of butcher's apron to be kind of like, or a chef maybe. It's
Mhm.
that kind of vibe.
Oh,
So I would get all that on myself, big boots, and they were all covered in sort of fake dirt and stuff and blood and all. It looked amazing. And then
I can't
I
wait.
would I would go over to wear makeup. The wonderful people from the prosthetics studio in down in near Leeds, not
Mm.
in Leeds, but yes, the lovely makeup people, and I would sit in a chair, and I think the quickest was about an hour and a half
Oh.
to get all the stuff on
Mhm.
because the first Blood and Honey obviously was a big mask,
Mhm.
so that was one piece. This one, because the budget was so much higher, they were able to get proper sculpted prosthetics. So I had a sort of neck piece, and then there were bits around the mouth, and then there was the forehead, and all these, and it was all separate pieces. And then they had a big cowl that came around the back with the ears and all that sort of stuff. And I would just sit there and be like, and they'd be just working away this wonderful husband and wife team with bits of glue and silicon and all this stuff.
Oh
And
my
I think,
gosh,
yeah,
that is
under
fun.
2 hours, about an hour and a half, 2 hours. So not like not like the worst of them, like Jim Carrey,
Mhm.
getting into Grinch mode. But it was, as I say, it was quite relaxing, and it was a little bit of time to think and reflect. And they would help me drink some coffee if I needed it, and it was
Oh,
it was,
that's funny.
it was
That
a
That reminds me of Stranger Things, the latest season that had Vecna. Did you see that thing that went
Mm.
viral? It was like a huge meme where it was Vecna in the makeup chair, and there was someone holding up a coffee, and he was sipping an iced coffee while he was getting his. Oh, it was such a funny picture. So, Eddie, you're also a musician. Can you tell me a little bit about your music and also any upcoming shows that you have?
Oh, yes. Well, I don't know if you can see my pile of guitars, because I don't take care of them. I'm a terrible, terrible musician, man. But yeah, I do various things. Um, you mentioned the comedy before. I do sort of musical comedy as one of my things. So that's the sort of stuff I do personally. So I'll go and do gigs around the country and play funny little songs and all that kind of stuff. Um, but also the main musical outlet is my band with some friends here in Glasgow, and we've been going for a couple of years, about 4 or 5 years, I think. We're called PANDACAR, and we're awesome, and we have a lot of fun. People should check us out. Yeah,
Yeah.
PANDACAR.
Oh, I will put links in the description of this video to have everyone check it out. That sounds like a lot of fun.
They'll be
And
very pleased with that little shout out. They are,
yeah,
lads.
that'll be awesome. Where can people follow you if they want to find out more about your music, about your comedy, and see what other upcoming projects you have?
Well, yeah, the best place is probably Instagram these days. It's probably the platform I share the most on. I'm trying to get better at social media in general, but I think Instagram is the one I focus most on, uh, in terms of actually kind of promoting myself and sharing upcoming things. Facebook is all right. I've got a Facebook page, but that's kind of hit and miss. Um, I use TikTok a lot, but that's more for kind of nonsense and stuff. It's not really, it's not as consistent. Yeah, either Instagram or, you can Google me. There's all sorts of things happening on the Google. But yeah, I reckon give me a little follow on the old gram, and that's probably where you'll find most of the relevant stuff, I would say.
Well, I cannot wait to see your portrayal of Piglet in Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey 2. I am counting down the days. Thank you so much, Eddie, for joining me. And it was really nice to meet you. I really hope that you guys are able to do like some kind of LA premiere or screening because it'd be so fun to meet you in person.
Well, my goodness, that would be the stuff of dreams. Getting
Yeah,
across to America. Oh, who knows? I mean,
let's hope.
the first one was just so incredibly massive that
Yeah,
we're very excited. We're all very excited, and we're just excited for you guys to see it.
yeah.
Ah!
It's going to be so much fun. Well, thank
Oh
you,
yeah.
Eddie. It was very nice having you here, and I look forward to having you on again in the future to promote upcoming projects that you have.
Well, bless you. I've had a blast. Thank you.
Aw, thank you. Have a good rest of your day.
You take care.
Bye.